What are you sick of trying to explain to people? Why I am trying to quit drinking. I can't stop once I start. It's just not working for me. That thing they shared on Facebook is not true and could have been fact checked in seconds. My grandma follows this guy called David Avocado Wolf. Are you really sure you can trust a guy who calls himself Avocado? Also, he is all about natural and organic. He believes in detox and is anti-vax. That your dog needs to be vaccinated to come to daycare. Seriously, rabies, distemper, bordetella vaccines, and fecal floats, parasite check, all need to be done for the safety of your dog and for the safety of the other dogs. Lots of pups go to dog parks where there is no regulation and you can never be too careful. Just replace dog with kid. Antibiotics don't work on viruses. Yes, and if you have a virus and it's only been a few days and you aren't dying, you don't need to go to the doc. There's not much they can do for you. Keep your germs at home and rest. Work in a veterinary clinic in Houston, TX. My dog doesn't need heartworm prevention. We live where it's hot most of the year in a city known for its bayous. Now, some clients won't know that heartworm disease is spread by mosquitoes, but as soon as I explain it to them they still come out with, "But he's an inside dog." Still doesn't matter, he can still get it. It just takes one mosquito bite. No, I'm not just trying to take your money. I've actually seen dogs die from this, so just pay for the prevention and the test every year so you won't have to pay thousands of dollars in treatment. A migraine isn't just a headache, and it's more than just painful. They mess with my vision and perception. Just because you say something and you believe it doesn't mean it is true. You saying louder doesn't make it true either. How lockpicking works. Source: I'm a locksmith. I am not a locksmith, but I love locks and picking. I was able to pick all of my house locks. This prompted me to buy new house locks. Married for 3 years. We're both 27. So when are you having kids? So why don't you have kids, Motherfrica? We just don't want any at the moment. Crap, maybe never if you keep bugging us about it. How their homes use power. I work at the power company and have to explain to people 2-3 times my age that a heater will still use power while they're out of the house. It doesn't magically know they left. Tattoos usually follow the general rule of, you get what you pay for. Tried to explain to so many people I know not to get a tattoo based on price, but unfortunately they believe that cheapest equals best. I can't wait for the day when $15 do-it-yourself tattoo kits become popular and we have a generation of adults with Etch-a-Sketch kindergarten doodles on their bodies. But if they're going for heart over art, then who am I to judge? Why I don't have my PhD yet and what academic jobs entail. I am a pharmacy tech. Most people have a deductible at the beginning of the year. When I try to explain this, they just think the pharmacy is ripping them off. I understand it's frustrating and we do all we can to help, but people just won't get mad at someone, and people in the pharmacy are the easiest targets. I know it is time to get the wine and chocolates when my wife, also a farm tech, randomly mutters donut hole when she gets home. My dad is one of the people who buys into email chains and websites claiming false things. He gets mad whenever I try to actually research a subject and find peer-reviewed sources about that research. He says that it's the same thing as the web pages he used because both are just things on the internet. He can't differentiate between scam websites and real scientific evidence. It's endlessly frustrating. Just knock up a quick one-pager that says it's scientifically proven that people called Dad's name should really listen more to people called your name. You can't lose, and the possibilities could be endless. There is a difference between a debate and an argument. Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I hate your guts. More importantly, there is a difference between an argument and a fight. That my rheumatoid arthritis can't be cured with ibuprofen. I take cancer meds FFS. There's tired. Then there's the I feel like I haven't slept in a week hypothyroid tired. Have a kid, sweetie, then you'll realize what being tired really is. Zoxo. Frick this type of person. Just because a statistical model gave something a 70% chance of happening and missed, doesn't mean the entire model is horribly inaccurate. Tell that to a Fire Emblem fan. Just because you've been in the industry longer than me doesn't mean I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Also, just because you've done something for 20 years doesn't mean you've been doing it right for that long. Just because I'm an accountant doesn't mean I know everything about taxes. No, I can't find you some hidden money and magically get you a higher refund. Also an accountant, having to explain to people that they won't lose money if they get that pay raise because they think they will end up paying more in taxes than the raise. Ugh. That depression doesn't just go away if you decide to be happy. Back up your data, idiots. I am gardener in Germany. People ask for plants that bloom all over the year, need no water, need no light and don't lose their leaves. That plant doesn't exist. If it is not living, they do. All hail synthetic plants. That I can be self-critical without needing affirmation or fishing for compliments. I get this most with cooking. If something didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it and I say as much, others will immediately jump in and say how good it was or something like that. Sure, it's absolutely fine, it just didn't get to where I wanted it. I'm not planning on going to slit my wrists because of it, I'll just make a note of it next time and do something differently. I work at a second-hand store. If something is worth $100, I am not going to give you $100, then turn around and sell it for $100. If you aren't in butthole, I might give you 50% of the value, but rarely go over 40%. Being colorblind doesn't mean I can't tell what color your shirt is, or that poster, or Steve's car. Explaining income tax US to people is starting to wear me down. No dude, accepting that small raise that puts you into the next tax bracket does not mean you're making less money, unless of course you're in a very specific and special circumstance that causes you to lose some sort of benefit. Overtime, too. People say this about OT all the time here. Another strange thing, we get a bonus every 6 months that is based on how we did compared to projected sales. I had a shift supervisor say just claim exempt on your W4 for the bonus. They won't take any taxes out yet. That's good advice. They won't now, but you will pay for it at the end of the year. Facebook is not and never was a news site. Looking at you, mom. No, eating organic will not cure my autoimmune disease. No, it's not because I take too many pills either. The pills are for it. No, it's not some conspiracy by my doctor to make me buy more medication. No, I don't want your freaking essential oils. There's no quick fix when raising children. I'm having trouble with little Timmy doing X. Did you try having consequences for him doing X? Cue next conversation. Having consequences didn't work. Timmy did X again after I gave him a timeout for doing it the first time. Did he get the same consequences the second time? No, because they didn't work. He did X again. Did you give him any consequences the second time? Number. Consequences didn't work. He did X again. Well, you have to give consequences every single time your child does X for your child to learn that X is an unacceptable behavior. I don't have time for that. I've got all the chores and shopping to do. Is there anything else I can do to keep Timmy from doing X? If I can manage to run a classroom while giving consequences for unacceptable behavior while alone with 25 kids, I'm sure you can manage with one while doing the dishes. That I've already thought of. No caffeine, more exercise and go to bed earlier. It's like they think they're the first person to ever think of this. Thanks, I'm cured. Why I play video games. Commodore, why do you stay behind your screen playing the same thing over and over? I don't know, Karen. Why do you keep watching the same crappy reality shows over and over? We do not use only 10% of our brains. Well, except maybe for the people who believe this. We only use 33.33% of a traffic light. Imagine if we used 100%. That a layperson's opinion isn't equivalent to an expert's knowledge. We all have opinions, but some opinions matter and, by comparison, some do not. Yes, I am still single. No, I am not trying to remain single. No, I don't know when I'll be not single. Nobody asks me, I just blurt it out to strangers on the internet sometimes. In the line Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Juliet is asking why he is Romeo Montague, not where he is. That Scrodinger's cat is not supposed to sincerely imply that reality is based on our observation of it. The whole thing is meant to be a thought experiment depicting a paradox that ridicules that idea. In creating the Schrodinger's cat paradox, Schrödinger was illustrating an issue he had with the idea in quantum mechanics called the Copenhagen interpretation. The Copenhagen interpretation states that physical systems do not have definitive properties prior to being observed. Schrödinger thought up his cat experiment to show that the idea wasn't logical and didn't work when applied to everyday objects. I often see Schrödinger's cat used to prove that reality is egocentric since everything is in a sort of fluid, indefinable state until we observe and measure it. Except Schrödinger's cat was meant to illustrate precisely how ludicrous that idea is, because the cat can't be both alive and dead in a box as reality exists beyond our field of vision, at least beyond subatomic levels. A disagreement is not a personal attack. Why I'm still single, I don't know, mom, jeez. But you're such a handsome beautiful guy woman. Astronomer here, I don't do horoscopes, please stop asking. Difference between loose and lose. You're right, that makes me mad too. I'm not angry, but I will be if you keep asking me what's wrong. The breed of my half-basset hound, just because he's all black doesn't make him half-black lab. It's Weimaraner. I witnessed the conception and birth unfortunately. Goldfish do not belong in bowls. No fish belongs in a bowl, and especially not fricking goldfish. The most common goldfish you see, those skinny little comet goldfish, shouldn't even be in a fish tank, unless you happen to have some massive, Bond villain level setup. They're actually bred as feeders, mostly, not as pets. Every time I bring this up, someone has an anecdote about, oh, their sister's ex-boyfriend's orthodontist once had a goldfish named Bubba and he lived in a bowl for 7 whole years. Number, they are animals with a lifespan of 20 plus years. Just don't do it. It'd be more humane to kill the thing now. I get this crap when I tell people their better fish shouldn't be in a half-gallon bowl on their desk, and that they need a heater because they're tropical fish. Oh, they live in puddles in the wild. Frick no they don't. They live in rice paddies. They're not deep, but they go on for miles. Plenty of space. Your better can live much longer than a year if you take proper care of it. The card reader works. The screen is just 40 people, but there is a second screen right above me. I don't like talking to new people, which is really hard to explain to new people. This mouse is looking for friends in the comments. Comment mouse boy to befriend him. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.